The massive ship called Dread Harvester cut through the darkness of space like a predator stalking its prey. Commander Ketzer stood on the bridge, his 4 arms crossed behind his back as he studied the blue-green planet rotating slowly on the main screen. His species, the Variks, had been the galaxy's most feared hunters for over 1,000 years. Standing nearly 8 feet tall, with thick, armored skin and razor-sharp claws, they were born killers who had turned hunting into the ultimate sport. Kethzer's yellow eyes gleamed with anticipation as he watched the human settlement below. His species had discovered this new prey just months ago, and the reports had been promising. Humans appeared to be soft, weak creatures with no natural weapons. They had thin skin, blunt teeth, and moved slowly compared to most species. Perfect prey for the Variks hunting games. Commander called his second-in-command, Vexstar, as he approached with a datapad. The scouting report is complete. The human colony has 127 inhabitants, mostly miners and their families. They have basic energy weapons, but no military defenses. They call their settlement New Horizon. Kethzar smiled, revealing rows of sharp teeth. Excellent. How many should we take for the hunt? 25 should provide adequate sport without making it too easy, Vexstar replied. We want them to have hope before we crush it. The Variks had perfected their hunting games over centuries. They would capture prey from primitive worlds, transport them to their hunting preserve on the moon Zerion 7, and then stalk them for sport. The preserve was a carefully designed environment with forests, rivers, and mountains that mimicked the prey's homeworld. It was the ultimate test of their hunting skills. Select a mix, Kethzer ordered. Adults and young ones. The adults will fight harder to protect their offspring, making the hunt more interesting. Down on the planet's surface, the mining colony of New Horizon was going about its daily routine. Marcus Chen, a former military engineer turned mining equipment specialist, was calibrating a new drill when the attack began. He had served in the Earth Defense Force for 10 years before deciding to try his luck on the frontier. At 35, he was still in excellent physical condition and had not forgotten his military training. The Varik strike came without warning. Invisible ships descended from the sky, using advanced cloaking technology. Energy nets, designed to capture without killing, fell from the heavens like spider webs. Marcus felt the tingling sensation just before the net materialized around him. The energy field disrupted his nervous system, making his muscles weak and unresponsive. Attack. He tried to shout, but his voice came out as a whisper. He watched helplessly as similar nets fell over his neighbors and friends. Dr. Sarah Williams was in her laboratory studying mineral samples when the capture began. As the colony's only xenobiologist, she had been excited about the possibility of discovering new life forms on this world. At 28, she was brilliant and curious, always eager to learn about alien species and their technologies. When the energy net caught her, she tried to analyze its properties even as she fell unconscious. Tom Rodriguez, the mining foreman, was a tough man who had worked dangerous jobs his entire life. At 42, he had survived Caven's equipment, failures, and every hazard that deep space mining could throw at him. He was organizing the afternoon shift when the nets fell. His first instinct was to protect his workers, but the alien technology was beyond anything he had encountered. Emma Foster was playing in the colony's small garden when the attack happened. She was a bright child who loved exploring and asking questions about everything she saw. Her parents had brought her to New Horizon to give her a better life away from Earth's overcrowded cities. When the energy net caught her, she tried to be brave, but tears streamed down her face as she called for her mother. Within minutes, 25 humans had been captured and transported to the Varric ship. They woke up in holding cells, confused and frightened. The artificial gravity felt wrong, and the air had a strange, metallic taste. The walls were made of some kind of dark metal that seemed to absorb light. Marcus was the first to fully regain consciousness. His military training kicked in immediately as he assessed the situation. They were in some kind of prison, but the technology was clearly advanced. He could see other humans in nearby cells, including Dr. Williams, Tom, and little Emma. "Everyone stay calm," he called out, his voice carrying the authority of his military background. "We're alive, which means they want us alive. That gives us time to figure out what's happening." Dr. Williams stood up slowly, her scientific mind already working. The energy net used some kind of neural disruption field, very sophisticated. Whatever species captured us has technology far beyond our current capabilities. "Where are we?" asked Tom, his voice rough with anger and fear. Before anyone could answer, the lights dimmed and a massive figure appeared outside their cells. Commander Kethzer stood nearly 8 feet tall, his forearms crossed as he studied the captured humans. His yellow eyes glowed in the dim light, and his armored skin was covered in intricate scars that told the story of countless hunts. "Greetings, humans," he said, his voice a low rumble that seemed to come from deep within his chest. "I am Commander Kethzer of the Varric's Empire. You have been selected for a great honor." Emma whimpered and pressed herself against the back of her cell. Marcus stepped forward, positioning himself between the alien and the child as much as possible. "What do you want with us?" Marcus demanded. Ketzer's smile was terrifying. "You will be the prey in our hunting games. For 1,000 years, the Varrics have hunted the most dangerous predators in the galaxy. We have conquered the steel-clawed Thanics of the ice worlds, the Shadowstalkers of the Void Nebulae, and the Acid Spitters of the molten planets. Now we have found you." "We're not animals," Dr. Williams said, her voice steady despite her fear. "We're a sentient species with rights under galactic law." Rights? Kethzer laughed, a sound like grinding metal. "You are soft, weak creatures with no natural weapons. Your skin tears easily, your teeth are blunt, and you move slowly. You are perfect prey, nothing more." The alien commander activated a holographic display showing a moon covered in forests and mountains. "This is Zarian 7, our hunting preserve. It has been terraformed to resemble your home world. You will be released there with basic supplies. In 48 hours, the hunt will begin." "And if we refuse?" Tom asked, his hands clenched into fists. "You have no choice," Kethzer replied, "but I will tell you the rules to make it sporting. You will have 48 hours to prepare. We will hunt you for 7 days. If any of you survive, you will be returned to your world. If not," he shrugged with all 4 arms. Marcus studied the alien commander carefully. There was arrogance in his posture, overconfidence in his voice. The Varrics clearly believed humans were helpless prey. That might be their first mistake. "How many of you will be hunting us?" Marcus asked. "Myself and 5 of my finest hunters," Kethzer said proudly. "We are the elite of the Varric's Empire. Each of us has made hundreds of kills." 6 against 25, Dr. Williams said. "That hardly seems sporting." "You will scatter and hide like all prey," Kethzer replied. "We will hunt you one by one. It is the way of nature." The alien commander left them alone, and the humans began to talk quietly among themselves. Marcus quickly established himself as the leader, using his military experience to organize the group. Dr. Williams became their information gatherer, studying everything she could about their captors. Tom took charge of the practical matters, helping people stay calm and focused. Hours later, they were transported to the surface of Zarian 7. The moon was indeed Earth-like, with breathable air and familiar-looking vegetation. They found themselves in a clearing surrounded by dense forest. Scattered around were packs containing basic supplies, food, water, simple tools, and blankets. "Listen carefully," Marcus said as the group gathered around him. "These aliens think we're helpless prey. They expect us to panic, scatter, and make it easy for them. We're not going to do that. What can we do against alien hunters with advanced technology?" asked one of the colonists. "We do what humans have always done," Marcus replied. "We adapt, we innovate, and we survive. We're not just miners and scientists. We're the descendants of the species that conquered Earth, reached the stars, and spread across the galaxy." Dr. Williams nodded. "They made a mistake by underestimating us. They think we're weak because we don't have claws or fangs. But our strength has never been physical. It's mental." Tom stepped forward. "I've worked in dangerous situations my whole life. The key to surviving is preparation and teamwork. We have 48 hours to get ready." Little Emma, who had been quietly listening, suddenly spoke up. "My teacher said humans are apex predators. That means we're hunters too, right?" Marcus smiled and knelt down to her level. "That's right, Emma. We're very good hunters. We just usually choose not to be." As the alien sun set over Zarian 7, the humans began to plan. They split into teams, with Marcus leading the tactical planning, Dr. Williams studying the environment and any alien technology they might encounter, and Tom organizing the practical aspects of survival. Asterisk. High above, in the Dread Harvester, Commander Kethsar watched the humans through surveillance devices. He was pleased to see them working together, building shelters and organizing supplies. It would make the hunt more interesting when they realized that cooperation would not save them. "Sir," reported Vexstar, "the prey is behaving as expected. They are frightened but trying to prepare defenses. Should we begin the hunt early?" "No," Kethsar said. "Let them have their hope. Let them believe they have a chance. When we begin hunting them tomorrow, their despair will be all the sweeter." The first day passed quickly. The humans explored their environment, built better shelters, and began crafting simple weapons from the materials they found. Marcus used his engineering knowledge to design traps and defenses. Dr. Williams studied the local plant life, looking for anything that might be useful. Tom organized work crews to build fortifications and gather resources. As the second day dawned, the humans had transformed from scattered, frightened prey into an organized group with a plan. They had chosen defensible positions, created weapons, and established communication systems. Most importantly, they had hope. Commander Kethsar and his 5 hunters prepared for the hunt. They wore advanced armor that provided stealth capabilities and enhanced strength. Their weapons could fire energy bolts that would stun or kill, and their sensors could track movement, heat signatures, and even scent trails. "Remember," Kethsar told his hunters, "we want this to last. Don't kill them too quickly. Let them run, let them hide, let them feel hope before we take it away." The hunters spread out across the preserve, confident in their superiority. They had hunted the most dangerous predators in the galaxy and had never failed. These soft, weak, Humans would be no different. But as they began their hunt, they were about to discover that humans had not become the dominant species on Earth by being weak. They were about to learn why humans were called apex predators, and why underestimating them was a mistake that could cost everything. The hunt was about to begin. But the question was, who would be the hunter, and who would be the prey? Part 2. The reversal, the morning of the hunt, dawned clear and bright on Zerion 7, Commander. Kethsar and his 5 elite hunters moved through the forest with practiced silence. Their advanced armor made them nearly invisible, and their weapons hummed with deadly energy. They had done this hundreds of times before, and they expected this hunt to be no different. Hunter Zexkal, the youngest of the group, was eager to prove himself. He had tracked the human scent to a small valley where he detected heat signatures. Through his helmet's display, he could see 3 humans hiding behind a fallen log. They appeared to be trembling with fear. Too easy, he whispered to himself, as he raised his weapon. But as he stepped forward, something unexpected happened. The ground beneath his feet gave way, and he plunged into a carefully concealed pit. Sharp wooden stakes, hardened in fire, pierced his armor at the joints. He screamed in pain and rage. "Now," shouted Marcus Chen from his hidden position in the trees above. The 3 humans behind the log were not cowering in fear. They were Tom, Rodriguez, and 2 other miners, perfectly calm and ready for action. They threw nets made from salvaged materials over the trapped alien, while Marcus dropped from the trees with a makeshift spear. "Impossible," Zexkal snarled as he struggled. "In the pit, you are prey. You should be running in terror." "We were running," Tom said with a grim smile. "We were running you into our trap." Dr. Williams emerged from concealment, her eyes bright with scientific curiosity. "Fascinating. The armor is more sophisticated than I thought, but it has weak points." She studied the captured alien with the same intensity she would use to examine a new species of plant. "How did you know where I would be?" Zexkal demanded. "We've been watching you for hours," Marcus replied. "Your stealth technology is impressive, but it's not perfect. There are thermal distortions, electromagnetic signatures. Once we knew what to look for, you were easy to track." Little Emma Foster crawled out from her hiding spot behind a rock. "I saw him first," she said proudly. "He made the leaves move funny when he walked." The alien hunter stared at the child in shock. He had been detected by a human youngling while wearing the most advanced stealth armor in the galaxy. It was impossible, yet it had happened. Meanwhile, Hunter Grigstar was pursuing what he believed to be a fleeing human through the dense forest. His sensors showed the heat signature moving erratically, stumbling and falling. Perfect prey behavior. He moved in for the kill, but when he reached the location, he found only a bundle of heated rocks wrapped in cloth. Decoy, he realized too late. Dr. Williams dropped from the canopy above, having used her knowledge of physics to calculate the perfect trajectory. She had studied the captured alien's armor and weapons, and she had noticed something important. The power source was exposed at the back of the neck, probably for cooling purposes. Her improvised weapon, a sharpened piece of alien metal, found its mark. The hunter's armor powered down, and he collapsed, unconscious but alive. "Thermal decoy," Sarah explained to the other humans who emerged from hiding. "I used heated rocks to create a false heat signature while I got into position above the trail. Basic physics applied to alien technology." Hunter Vextar, Kethsar's second in command, was having his own problems. He had cornered a group of humans in a narrow canyon, exactly where he wanted them. There was no escape, and he could pick them off one by one. End of the line. Pray, he called out as he entered the canyon. You cannot run anymore. But the humans were not trying to run. They had chosen this location deliberately. As Vextar moved deeper into the canyon, he triggered a carefully planned avalanche. Tom Rodriguez and his mining crew had used their expertise in explosives and geology to turn the canyon into a trap. Rocks thundered down from both sides, and Vextar found himself buried under tons of stone. His armor protected him from being crushed, but he was completely immobilized. The prey had become the predator. Mining teaches you about controlled explosions, Tom explained as he climbed down to where the alien was trapped. You learn to move rock exactly where you want it to go. Commander Kethser watched in growing horror as his hunters disappeared from his tactical display one by one. This was not how hunts were supposed to go. The prey was supposed to run, too. Hide, to die with fear in their eyes. Instead, his elite hunters were being systematically captured by creatures he had considered barely above animals. This is impossible, he growled, his forearms trembling with rage. They are weak, soft, helpless. But as he studied the tactical data, he began to see the pattern. The humans were not fighting like prey. They were fighting like predators. They set traps, used bait, coordinated their attacks, and showed no mercy to their enemies. They were acting like the apex predators they claimed to be. Hunter Klixvar and Hunter Nextel decided to work together, thinking that superior numbers would give them an advantage. They tracked a large group of humans to an open meadow where there was no place to hide. This time, they would not be caught off guard. Surrender now, Klixvar called out, and your deaths will be quick. The humans in the meadow looked up at the two approaching hunters. There were 15 of them, including several children. They appeared defenseless and afraid. We surrender, called out one of the humans, raising his hands. Please don't hurt the children. The two hunters smiled and moved closer, their weapons trained on the group. But as they entered the meadow, something extraordinary happened. The ground beneath their feet began to glow with an eerie light. Dr. Williams stepped forward, holding a device cobbled together from alien technology. I call it a feedback loop, she said calmly. I've been studying your power systems. Very impressive, but they have a weakness. When subjected to the right frequency, they overload. The hunter's armor began to spark and smoke. Their weapons shut down, and their communication systems failed. They were left standing in the meadow, helpless and confused. Surround them, Marcus ordered, and the humans moved in with their improvised weapons. The hunters, who had come to kill them, were now at their mercy. How? Nextel asked in shock. How did you learn to use our technology? We're very good at learning, Dr. Williams replied. It's one of our strengths as a species. We see something once, we figure out how it works, and then we make it better. Commander Kethser was alone now, his entire hunting party captured or neutralized. He stood in the command center of his armor, surrounded by the most advanced hunting technology in the galaxy, and yet he felt more afraid than he had ever been in his life. This is Commander Kethser to all units, he broadcast. Report your status. The only response was Marcus Chen's voice, transmitted through captured alien communication equipment. This is Marcus Chen, representing the human survivors. Your hunters are our prisoners now. We need to talk. Kethser's yellow eyes burned with rage. You dare make demands of me? I am a commander of the Varix Empire. You were a hunter, Marcus replied. Now you're the prey. Meet us at the landing zone. In 1 hour, Come alone and unarmed, or we start sending pieces of your hunters back to your ship." "We are not warriors," Dr. Williams added. "We are scientists, miners, families trying to live in peace. But when you threatened our children, when you tried to hunt us for sport, you awakened something in us that you should have left sleeping." Tom Rodriguez pointed to the bound alien hunters. "These are supposed to be your elite. They fell for traps that human children could have avoided. They were defeated by miners with hand tools." Little Emma stepped forward, her young voice clear and strong. "My teacher told me that humans are apex predators because we're smart, not strong. She said we're the scariest thing in the galaxy because we never give up." Ketzer looked at the child, then at the adults surrounding him. For the first time, he began to understand what they truly were. These were not weak prey animals. They were predators who had chosen to live peacefully, and when forced to fight, they fought with an intelligence and ruthlessness that exceeded even the Variks. "What do you want?" he asked, his voice hollow. "We want to go home," Marcus said simply. "All of us. And we want your word that the Variks will never hunt humans again." "The Empire will never agree to that," Ketzer replied. "We are hunters. It is our nature." "Then learn to hunt something else," Dr. Williams said. "Because if you try to hunt humans again, the next time will be different. The next time, we won't be unprepared. The next time, we'll be the ones doing the hunting." Tom nodded grimly. "We'll teach every human colony how to fight your kind. We'll study your technology, learn your weaknesses, and spread the knowledge across the galaxy. You think we're dangerous now. You haven't seen anything yet." The alien commander looked around at the humans, seeing them clearly for the first time. They were not boasting or making idle threats. They were stating facts with the calm certainty of apex predators who had found their prey. "You have won this day," he said finally. "But the Empire will learn from your mistake," Marcus interrupted, "or they'll share your fate. The choice is yours." As the human survivors prepared to leave Zarian 7, Commander Ketzer stood alone among his defeated hunters. The greatest hunting expedition in Variks history had become their greatest failure. They had sought to hunt humans for sport, and instead had learned why humans were the most dangerous predators in the galaxy. Dr. Williams uploaded all the data she had gathered about Variks technology to the ship's computer before they left. The information would be transmitted to every human colony, ensuring that if the Variks ever tried to hunt humans again, they would find them ready. As their ship departed, carrying the human survivors back to New Horizon, Emma Foster pressed her face against the window and looked back at the hunting preserve. "Will they try to hunt us again?" she asked. Marcus Chen put his hand on her shoulder. "If they do, we'll be ready for them. And they'll discover that when you hunt humans, you better make sure you get all of us, because the ones who survive will come looking for you." The Variks had learned a hard lesson about humanity that day. They had discovered that the most dangerous predators in the galaxy were not the ones with the biggest claws or the sharpest teeth. They were the ones with the biggest brains and the strongest will to survive. And somewhere in the vast expanse of space, the word spread among the alien species who had heard of the Variks' defeat. Never hunt humans for sport, because when you do, you might just find out that you're not the apex predator you thought you were. The hunters had become the hunted, and the galaxy would never be the same. Asterisk.